Cam Rising finally retires, leaves his team. The Utes of Utah. Jose, what you got for us on Utes?
Hey, on that comment, I mean, I maybe he did officially retire, but he had one more year left if he wanted to use it, which
Yeah,
is which is
crazy.
wild, which is
Crazy.
wild. But he did have one more year, so it was there. The option to come back was there, I guess. But no, I'm gonna go the over 7.5. I'm gonna take the plus 600 to win the conference. This will be my official pick to win the Big 12. I think I took them last year, and that blew up in my face. But you have to remember they were down to their fourth-string quarterback at times. I think their quarterback wasn't even a quarterback at one point. He was like some receiver playing quarterback. It got pretty bad down there. But the trenches this year is where they're best at in the Big 12, primarily on the offensive side of the ball. They bring back a lot of returning linemen, a lot of talent, a lot of experience. On the offensive side of the ball right there. So that is where they separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Defensively should be stout. Morgan Scalley, one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, as reliable as they come. He'll probably be the head coach in the next 4 years or so. Whenever Whittingham decides to step down, I think it's already been announced that he's the head coach in waiting. And he is a genius on that side of the ball. Lander Barton comes back on the defense. Major bonus for that. He's a really good player. Their entire linebacking corps has potential to be, I think, the best in the Big 12. But yeah, for a Kyle Whittingham team, it just feels weird to discuss because I want to dive into the offense real quick. It feels weird to discuss how much potential this offense has. And it starts with one guy, Devin Dampierre. And for good reason. Anybody who watched this guy last year in New Mexico, you should have been what he was doing because not only was he putting up great numbers in his conference, but you also have to remember New Mexico does not have any talent whatsoever. So for a guy to go out there and put up the numbers he was putting up and the highlight reels he was putting out there, really electric. I really was really impressed with him throughout the course of last season. I know some guys out there who bet him to win the Heisman 150-1. I think that number's down to like 40-1 now. I'm not advocating for him at whatsoever, but 150-1 for Devin Dampierre, if you got out early, I think is a solid bet. This guy has loads of potential. The receiving corps is not that bad. What I like the most is actually brought over Jason Beck, his offensive coordinator from New Mexico. He's now the OC here in Utah, which I think should help him out tremendously, get some familiarity there as well. People like to point out Dampierre's turnover ratio, but again, like I said, there is no talent there at New Mexico whatsoever. The guy is a one-man show. So if he has to put the ball in harm's way in New Mexico to risk a big play, that's something you just have to live with. Again, he's not a very big name. So if you haven't seen him already, go watch some highlights of him. If his game translates, which is a big if, but if his game translates to the Power 4 level, then Utah is a serious threat to win this conference, and they have a chance to make some noise in the CFP as well. Also want to point out all their big games are at home this year. Kansas State is at home, which is potential Big 12 championship game, or at least a chance to get in a berth potential into the Big 12 championship game. All their big games are at home. I mean, I think we've all agreed last year this is probably a top 3 place to play in the country in terms of power ratings. Just going to Salt Lake City and playing against Utah in elevation like that, especially at night, that's as hard as it gets. So to have that kind of a home field advantage in your back pocket for an over 7.5 bet, I'll take it. So this will be my official pick to win the conference. I did it last year and it burned me, but I think Kyle Whittingham's one of the most underrated coaches in the country. So yeah, 7.5 over plus 600 to win the conference.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest places to go to.